What is up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mallon, and you are now, come on, get with me in a Sooner state of mind. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Amazon Music. Sometimes the light's all shining on me, and other times I can barely see. Lately, it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been. Sooner state of mind, family. What is good? I know it's good. The college football season has finally come to an end. Good, bad, huh? Well, we'll see. Crowning a first-time national champion, and we'll get into that in just a bit. But before all that, when I'm talking about what is good, Sooner Nation got some really good news. And whoever said you can't go home, they were filthy, dirty, damn liars, I tells you. Sooners got some good news. Better than good. Tenfold better than good. Tenfold better than great. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Both quarterback John Mateer and linebacker Kip Lewis are returning next season. The proverbial quarterback for the defense and the literal quarterback for the offense both announced last week they would be coming back for the 2026 football season, completely stoking everyone in Sooner Nation completely out. Mateer, huge name in the portal last year, got in. Was playing some pretty good football coming over from Wazoo before he broke the thumb on the throwing hand. Was leading Heisman candidate. Still came back to do some good things, leading the Sooners on that 4-game win streak in red November, getting the Sooners that playoff berth, coming up just short of finishing the way we wanted to. And then you flip it over on the other side. Kip 6. We've seen this guy make huge plays in huge games at huge moments, leading tackler on the best defense we've seen in a long time. 76 tackles, 10.5 TFLs. They're coming back because they want to be a part of something special. Super stoked. Then we got more good news. Isaiah Satania returning with the number change. But with that speed, baby, cannot wait. We figured this cat was coming back, but Torrey Blaylock made it official. So did Cortland Guillory. Two of the brightest young stars, not only for the Oklahoma Sooners, not only for the SEC, but for all of college football. Sky's the limit for those dudes. More good news for Team 132. Ryan Foje, Heath Ozeda, Jermichael Carter, Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Ace Hodges, Ben Anderson. The list goes on and on. And we can add another name to that list. Wide receiver Ivan Carrion. I can't really roll my R's to make that sound better, but Carrion is coming back. He made a very, very brief stint in the transfer portal. 2024 true freshman. Why was it critical to get this guy back? He didn't have a lot of action last year, but 6'6", 224. He was in 11 games, but he didn't do much. I'm assuming they anticipate a much bigger contribution from this cat next year. They made an effort to go out and make sure that he stayed. So I'm stoked for the future of this guy. I think we can definitely utilize him. And now he can get in that offseason program and start working with John Mateer and the rest of those receivers and kind of get it ready for spring ball. And then it's going to be right around the corner, people. I'm telling you, it happens so quickly. And we're still going to get more in depth with all the transfer portal signees this offseason, but we're going to wait on that because the offseason is long and we need some tasty content for that, okay? So for now, we just remain stoked on the players we kept. And there are several reasons for those stoke levels to be rising, and we will get into all of that down the road. Well, it's almost February, and we finally have our college football national champion. The Indiana Hoosiers win a perfect 16-0 after beating the Miami Hurricanes in Miami 27-21. And just to get out there right off the bat, I thought that the days of an undefeated team were gone. The Hoosiers had some, layups on the schedule, but they also had some big games, and they handled biz in all those big games, including the championship game on Monday night. And I think had the biggest stint during the season of looking the most impressive, especially during that playoff run. Just an incredible month of football that they played. They ended up outlasting Miami 27-21 on Monday night. And I think the spread finished at 8.5. So this came in under that. And early on, defensive battle. I was actually really impressed with how stout Miami looked, man. They were giving this Indiana offense trouble, and we hadn't seen that happen in quite some time. So, but then in the second quarter, it felt like Indiana was starting to impose their will on both sides of the football, especially on offense, build up that 10-0 lead. But 4 minutes into the second quarter, Miami got that touchdown, the big run. Now it's 10-7. And just side note, number 5, Pond for Indiana. I know they kept saying, 5'9", 175. That cat can play football. Man, he was impressive. But the game got a little tight last night. And then Indiana actually 10-0 going into the half. And then it was the third quarter. Then Miami had the big 57-yard touchdown. And going into the game said Miami can't have any mistakes in this. They ended up having a lot of penalties and a crucial interception. But it seemed like Indiana was going to pull away, and Miami kept this thing tight. I was really impressed with the physicality. And then couple drops on some third downs for the Hoosiers, something we hadn't seen in a while. They were beating the crap out of Mendoza. Miami was getting home all night, really frustrating them. But Indiana got the huge punt, pinned Miami inside the 10. And then what really did Ole Miss in was they could not tackle Malachi Toney. And for 3 quarters, Indiana kept this cat in check. 3rd and 7 for Miami deep in their own end. Carson Beck hits Toney, but Indiana swarms, holds him to 4th and 1. Miami has to punt. And then Kamara blocks the punt. Touchdown, scoop and score in the end zone. Indiana extends that to a 10-point lead. But Miami fought back and made this thing a game. And then late in the fourth quarter, this is what I loved. 4th and 5, Indiana driving like the 12, 14-yard line, whatever it was down there. Sig's going to send out the field goal unit, gets the timeout, rethinks it, decides to go for it on 4th down. And Fernando Mendoza didn't have a great game, but this was a great play. 4th and 5, QB keeper, barrels off a couple guys, goes airborne, gets the touchdown. Instead of settling for a 6-point lead, they push that thing back up to 10, and they would need it. Because, like I said, through 3 quarters, Indiana was doing a great job of limiting Malachi Toney after the catch. But in the 4th quarter, man, you just cannot hold this cat down for long. He had the huge touchdown to get that thing to a 1-score game again. And on the day, he had 10 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown, man. This cat, oh my God, he's going to be such a great player. Should be in high school right now. And he's out there dominating on the biggest stage in the biggest game. 6-point lead for Indiana late in that thing. Carson Beck and the Canes have a chance to go down there and win this game by 1 point. Carson Beck with the late INT. Indiana holds, takes a knee, and they are national champions. And said Miami had to play clean in this thing. Let me see it. They had a bunch of penalties. What was the end there for their penalties? 7 for 60. We saw some Indiana had 5 penalties, including that critical false start late that set up the huge play for Mendoza, so they got out of it. But Indiana just made the plays when they had to have them, man. Charlie Becker, couple huge back shoulder catches, fighting through contact. And these refs were letting them play. And sometimes I'm cool with that, but they were not calling any holding on offensive linemen in this game. It was absolutely crazy. It's weird to go the whole season and you do it, and then you get to this point. It's like, we're just going to let them hold. But I'd rather them be a little lenient than too judicious, especially in such a big game there. But just an incredible team win by Indiana. Signetti, what a 2-year turnaround, undefeated national championship. And I said these cats have been babies all offseason or postseason. Notre Dame, social media, man, pathetic. They're flexing on beating Indiana in 2024. Championship game just happened in 2026. And they're still saying, oh, we beat these guys. We're the last to beat them. Yeah, 2024, who cares? It's been a pathetic display, but finding out more and more that the Twitter sphere is just an awful place. And that does not take away from what a great team this Indiana Hoosiers team was. Very even. I was actually not surprised by how tough Miami played, but how close they kept it. I mean, Indiana fought for everything. They had to come up with some special plays, and they did when they needed it, but that Miami defense was legit. They were punishing Mendoza in the pocket all game long. So just a great football game, a great way to end an awesome season. And it goes to show now that it's not a long build anymore. You can get this thing turned around if you got the right dudes, if you got the right will. It can happen pretty quickly. So that should not only stoke Sooner Nation out, there's a lot of teams, hey, man, if we can get the right combo, this is kind of a year-to-year thing now. So that makes it that much more important for the Sooners getting their big-name players back, getting Mateer back, keeping some cohesion on that defense, trying to build this thing. So I'm stoked for it. I'm completely stoked. So we got our final top 25 Of course, Indiana, number 1 at 16-0, followed by Miami, Ole Miss, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Tech, A&M, Bama, Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, OU, Utah, Vandy, Virginia, Iowa, Tulane, JMU, USC, Michigan, Houston, Navy, and UNT. I could bellyache about a couple of these things, but I'm not gonna because who really cares? We had a chance to handle our business, could not get it done. So if we end at 13, so be it. I think we're better than some of those teams in front of us, but you know what? We get the chance to prove it next season. And the good thing is now we are all undefeated. Okay. And if you thought waiting till January 19th was a long time to wait to crown your college football national champion, next year's national championship game takes place in Sin City at the Death Roomba, home of the Las Vegas Raiders and potentially Fernando Mendoza. That game is scheduled to take place on Monday, January 25th, people. Crazy talk, right? That is late in the season, but you push it further back, August comes around that much quicker. So I'm not too mad at it. And according to BetMGM, as of Tuesday, January 20th, the favorites to win it all, the Ohio State Buckeyes, plus 600, followed by Notre Dame. See, we should have been in blah. Oregon, Texas, 2 S's, Indiana, Georgia, Bama, LSU, A&M, our Sooners are plus 3,000. Let's go put some money down on that right now. Followed by Ole Miss, SC, Penn State, Auburn 8,000, BYU 10,000 to 1. Okay. Iowa State 10,000 to 1. So if you find yourself in Vegas or in a state that has legalized online gambling, go ahead and throw some money down. You get to sit on that thing for a full 12 months. Think about that bet. You break it down per month, you throw down a couple hundred, it's kid stuff. It's small potatoes with the chance at a big payday. Going to have a lot more to get to in the offseason. We still got the 2026 schedule, the portal class coming in, the recruiting class coming in, Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine game. Got a lot of talk. Of course, then the combine and then the draft. And then before you know it, even before the draft, there are no spring games anymore. Whatever we had last year, we'll have something similar this year. But if you go back and listen to those shows, we talk about how it's going to start mirroring an NFL offseason. You can book that. It's going to happen. So that's a wrap on the college football season. If you need a fix of NFL, we'll still have 3 huge games left, a couple conference championships, and, of course, the Super Bowl. If you hang out with the football dudes, check out the Trend Zone. We will get all up in that conference championship business, and then we will be there for the Super Bowl business. That is the Trend Zone by Football Dudes LA. And if you subscribe to Football Dudes LA, Apple Podcasts, Google, all those good things, Amazon Music, or Twitter, X, Football Dudes LA, we will hook you with that. Just like us, follow us, and you will stay in the mix. Head on over to Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Go to shows. Type in Sooner State of Mind. That's Sooner State of Mind, and you are locked, my friends. We have a ton of great content. Every team, every topic, everywhere. Believe.com. And if you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes. We are there. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am in a Sooner state of mind.